America will hate this book. Okay, let me rephrase. Some Americans will hate this book, especially the ones that are supporting cancel culture, pronouns, cultural appropriation. The courage to be disliked dismantles the principle supporting all of those. It says one thing and one thing clearly, that you shouldn't bother yourself about what other people are saying, and that forcing other people to do something to support your cause or your goal, or to help you change something, is an utter waste of time. It is a sign of insecurity, uselessness, and self-degradation. And that's probably why you should read it. I will not do this book justice. And also, I just want to make it clear that just because I read it and I like some parts of it, it doesn't mean that I agree in everything that it says. But I always feel that it's healthy to challenge our beliefs, to widen our knowledge, and to hear all sides of the story, because it's going to make us grow. This book actually supports Adler's philosophy. It goes against the Freudian principles of psychology. So Freud is very much about cause and effect, but this Adler's philosophy is all about courage. It essentially says that happiness is about achieving happiness, and satisfaction and peace is all about courage. When you have the courage to be disliked, you will realize that you and you alone can change the world and transform it into one where you are happy. You can be happy. You will be happy. This book needs to be read in depth, cover to cover. But I will share 10 things that I took away from the book. 10 of the men. There's a lot in here. There's a lot in here, but these are 10 just to hopefully encourage you to dig deeper into the philosophy of Adler. Okay, number 1, you must be self-centered, but it's not in a way that you think. To us, many feel that self-centered, or when we hear the word self-centered, it's all about what you will gain. But here, it's saying that you're supposed to mind your own business. Put the center on yourself. Put the focus on yourself. What you should be doing is achieving your goal. And as long as that goal contributes to the bigger community, then you should be fine. And community is not just limited to your friends, family, school, work, or whatever. It cuts across time, generations, and world. It should include the entire universe. So it's saying that you should change what you can and let go of everything else that is beyond your control. You should know clearly where your role and task ends, and end it there. And then just be concerned about how well you're doing your part. Don't mind about everything else that other people is saying. For example, if you're working for a company and you have a boss or as a supervisor, and your supervisor does nothing but criticize you or whatever, you shouldn't be affected by that. All you need to do is do your job well. The praising part, the criticizing part, that's his job, and you shouldn't concern yourself with that. The same thing with your children, for example. Your job is to make sure that they are provided for, that you are there when they need you, that you will help when they ask you to. Leave it at that. But the rest of the things that they're doing with their life, the study that they will pursue, or the course that they will take, or the profession that they will pursue, that's not your job. Leave it to them to decide. So know where your task ends and leave the rest with everybody else. Number 2, the past doesn't actually matter. So this is against the Freudian principles of psychology, where there is a cause and there is an effect. To Adler, he's saying that, Adler is not the author of this book, but they took Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga actually took the principles of Adler and then applied it and then wrote about it and expounded it here. So based on Freud, principles of psychology, there's a cause and there's an effect, but they are saying there is no cause. The cause doesn't matter. So the past doesn't matter. The trauma is not real. You made up your trauma. Unless that's a physical trauma. But like, for example, let's just say that you were a product of a broken home, your parents divorced and they ignored you. As a result, you either rebel, or you're insecure, or you're not a productive member of the society or whatever, and you say, oh, it's because I was ignored, or they left me, or whatever. The truth is that that's you're using that as an excuse. What is important, that event in your childhood when you were ignored, your parents left you and they divorced and whatever, that doesn't matter. It's the meaning that you put to it that matters. You gave it power, and so it's powerful, which means it isn't actually powerful. You're powerful. You decided, I'm going to use that as an excuse so that I become a rebellious kid, or I don't contribute to the society, or whatever. But it's actually not real. That has nothing. It doesn't matter. It does not exist. It has no power over you. It is only as powerful as you allow it to be. So the past shouldn't affect you. It doesn't exist anymore, which means that you can change the minute that anytime basically you can change. But and it goes into the third point, that people can change anytime, but they don't because it's scary, because they're scared to actually face reality, or it's hard, or it's inconvenient. So if you're a rebellious person, or you're not a productive person, or you're poor, or you're whatever it is that you're a negative person, you can change anytime, but you don't want to change because you're scared that if you do change, you will find out you're not actually special. Okay, let me expand on that. So for example, you don't have enough education, right? And you're saying, oh, I can't, and somebody else gets promoted, and you're saying, if only I have that person's education and training, I will actually get that job. But the solution to that is to get educated and have enough training. But you're not doing it because you're scared of the process, because it's hard to get to that goal. You're gonna have to get educated, you're gonna have to get training. But more importantly, you're scared that if you do get education or training, that you will not actually get that job. So you're scared to face reality. So people can change. They don't change because they're scared of the consequence, or they're not willing to put in the work. Okay, number 4, happiness is a feeling of being able to contribute to something. Okay, so it's in any kind of psychology, fiction, movie, whatever that may be. Happiness is almost always the goal, and it's always a controversial topic for everybody. For some people, they don't know how to get it or whatever, but he's saying happiness is simple. If you're able to contribute to something, that's happiness. Now, the contribution that you make is not reliant on people recognizing your contribution. It doesn't matter whether they recognize it or not. It doesn't matter if they know that it was you who contributed to that. It doesn't even matter if it's not visible. For as long as you know by yourself, all on your own, that you made a contribution, that's happiness. If you know that you made something better, that's happiness, whether they know or not know. Other people know of your contribution or not. So for example, the example that he used in a book is that, for example, you're cleaning the community every day, but no one cares. Nobody seems to know that it was you who cleans. Worse, they credited somebody else for doing it, and that person that was credited didn't actually correct them. Will you keep on cleaning the community or not? And the person said in the book, the other person said, I probably won't, because that's an injustice to the efforts that I put in for the community. And the author says, well, that's where the mistake lies. Your contribution should not be reliant on recognition. Reject the need to be recognized. That doesn't matter. Other people's recognition doesn't matter. What matters is your contribution. And if you know within yourself, oh, I contributed to something good, then you will be happy. You should be happy for as long as you know in your head that you contributed and that you don't care about recognition. And then the other good point that they made is wanting recognition from people it's a trap. Because what if there are 10 people you want to recognize you, and of course these people will have their own interests. At some point this is going to conflict each other. Then at some point you're pledging allegiance to 10 different interests, and that eventually will conflict to each other. So you're going to betray someone at some point in the future. So it's a trap. Don't do it. Number 5, the fear of getting disliked is fatal. That's what's keeping us from achieving our goals, when we fear getting disliked. So for example, let's just look at people who were able to achieve their goals but were actually highly disliked. That's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs. These people are not well liked because they're so strict, they're so focused on what they're doing, they don't care about other people's opinion. But they ended up achieving something great, and they contributed to their community. And in the end, that's what matters. They achieved their goal, and it can be applied even to I guess even in, like, for example, even in social media nowadays, there are a lot of people who don't share the popular opinion, but they're scared to talk about it because they're going to get bullied. They're going to get #canceled. But then that means you're compromising your belief, your principles, and what you stand for. So don't care about their opinion. Just say what you want to say, for as long as you know you're being true to yourself and your principle and your dispositions, then say it, and you will have all the freedom in the world. Look at Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart. They're just saying whatever it is that they want to say, and they're doing fine. So if you can just do what you want to do, for as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're sticking to your goal, and you don't care about what other people say about you, you don't care about getting disliked, you will be happy. Number 6, the weakness is actually the biggest strength. So many people use their misery or problems or traumatic experience as an excuse, and to gain power, to make other people submit to them. So let's say, for example, somebody gets bullied, and in the end but I don't know, non-productive members of the society. I think that's the safest way. And you try to help them, but in the end they say, you don't know how I feel, or you don't know my history, you don't know what I've been through, you will never understand. That is just to make you submit, so that you will allow them and support them in the kind of life that they're living. The fact is that, because of the previous point, I think that was number 2 when they said, but the past doesn't matter, right? Because that's a fact. It should, in Adler's principle, the past doesn't matter. What matters is now and what you're doing with your life right now. But because they're using their past experience to justify the wrong that they're doing right now, then it's a way for them to make you submit. Then you're just going to leave them alone, because I was never in your position. That's true. But they're ignoring the fact that that's the past. It doesn't matter. You should just get off your butt and do the work, But anyway, so like another example that he used, that the authors used, is a child. Like in a room, the most powerful person is actually the child, like an infant, because everyone needs to adjust to the infant. You can't be noisy because the infant is going to wake up from his nap, or you can't smoke, or you can't do this, or if there's a child, you can't drink because that's a child and is gonna, all of those things. So yeah, okay. Number 7, praising is condescending. It says that when you're praising somebody, you're actually putting yourself at the higher level. And it is better to emphasize somebody's contribution. So if they did something you should actually emphasize the contribution that they made rather than praise them. So instead of saying, hey, that's pretty, or good job, or whatever, you should be saying, hey, you made it better, you made things better, you contributed to that, you made my life better. So yeah. Okay, next, number 8, inferiority complex is actually superiority complex. So a lot of people will say like, oh, if I just have the training, or if I have the opportunity, if I have the education, I will get that promotion. But I don't have the training and I don't have the opportunity because I'm poor, because I'm this, because I'm that. What you're actually doing is positioning yourself to be better. You're saying, I am actually better. I'm actually better. It's just I don't have, people got in my way. I was pulled down. Circumstances beyond my control hindered my opportunity to get that promotion. But if everything is fair, I am better. So that is, so people that are trying to appear insecure is actually making themselves look superior by using external forces and circumstances as the anti-hero, the hindrance to them fulfilling their potential. Okay, number 9, the world looks exactly like how you want to see it. So if you feel like your boyfriend is cheating on you, you're going to find every evidence that she is cheating on you. The way that, the change in his tone when he's talking to somebody on the phone, or him being 5 minutes late or forgetting something. If you want to find evidence this is cheating, you will find evidence this is cheating. The same way with other people. If you feel like a person is a bad person, you will find every excuse on the book to prove that he's a bad person. But the same thing is flipped. If you want to know, if you want to see, or if you want to believe that a person is good, then you will find every excuse that a person is good. If you want to believe that that person is racist, you will find a lot of the things that he said and other evidence to prove that that person is racist. If you want to believe that that person is honest or good or helpful, then you will find every instance that he helped somebody. The world is exactly how you want to see it. And that's why they say that you eventually find what you're looking for. So only you have the power. If you want to see a good world, a beautiful world, then you will see a beautiful world. If you want to see good people, then you will see good people. It's all up to you. Okay, and number 10, all problems are based on interpersonal relationships. So all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. That's a powerful and complicated concept that I actually had to, there was this part in the book, several chapters where they actually discuss that all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. I had to read it. Some parts I had to read twice just to be able to fully grasp it. So I will actually not say anything about it because I want you to actually read the book. That's part. So I will stop at that, but I hope that in one way or another I was able to encourage you to pick up the book. I think whether or not you like what I said in the beginning, I think you should read the book, because it's always, as I've said, it's always good to challenge your belief. At the end, if you are able to determine that, okay, no, I am okay here, that what I believe in is right, then you're a better person. Next time somebody else maybe asks you about it, then you know how to defend it, or defend your own belief if you want to. Thanks.